Due to technical difficulties, this is the start of the 15th episode of Cleveland's Biggest Diehards, the podcast for diehard Cleveland professional sports fans. We have me, Joe Stoner, our producer who makes all this shit possible, Jeff, and we will also be calling our man with all the takes, James, later on in this episode. Apologies once again for the technical difficulties, but this is bound to happen for a couple of stooges that take time off in between podcasts, but this is what good podcasts go through. We hope you enjoy. Now we tap you in to what really happened when we hit record on this latest episode of Cleveland's Biggest Diehards, the podcast for diehard Cleveland professional sports fans. All right, fine. As you can tell, we are just coming off of a motherfucking win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We just won in overtime.
No, not just the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tom Brady led.
The GOAT goes down in Cleveland for probably the final time in his career. Shout out the defense. Shout out the Cleveland Browns. Jacoby Brissett's last game starting for the Cleveland Browns, and he goes out a fucking winner. Even though it took overtime to do it, we still go out a winner. We're 7 losses, 4 wins. Deshaun's back next week. Everything is set up perfectly, Jeff. We are still in the hunt. When they showed that graphic, on Fox, we are still in the hunt. We still have an opportunity to go to the playoffs and do this thing.
I know, man.
And it all started today. Man, do we just get started without James while we're waiting for him to get on? Okay, so.
Yeah. What you got for me?
I know he didn't play great today, but my biggest takeaway is that Froholt played way better with a week of preparation to play center than he did last week when he just got thrown in there.
For sure.
And because we didn't pod last week, I will state this.
There was a couple bad snaps, but the chemistry was
the guy by trait. He may be an offensive lineman, but the guy by trait is not a center. Okay? Right. So everything that we could have asked from Froholt today, he did. And I understand what some people are going to say, but what else do you expect from a team that lost not only its first string, not only its second string, but its third string center, who not only is the third string center, but the third string center that was number 1 rated in efficiency as a center, as an offensive lineman in the National Football League. So what do you expect from a guy who's a tackle by trait, who's a guard by nature, and in the middle of a game last week in Detroit when we're playing Buffalo, oh, by the way, pussies, put a dome on your shit. You don't want to get fucking snowed out, and you don't want the game to be like 75% Cleveland, even though they won that game. We're not going to talk about it. It is what it is. Fine, we'll talk about it a little bit. Pochich going down as early as he went down ruined the whole dynamic of what the Browns were trying to do last week. As soon as Pochich went down and Froholt had to go play center, the game sped up. The game sped up like that for Jacoby Brissett. Yeah. And they weren't prepared for that, and you can't blame anybody but just injuries and football happening. Yeah. Like, you can say...
You can't blame it all on that. I mean, the defense didn't show up
I understand, but the offense still couldn't be ran the way it needed to be run if we have Pochich in the center, like we game plan for it going in there, you know what I mean?
Right. No, I hear you, but let's talk about today, man.
I am, to be honest, stunned. Like, I always feel like we can win this. Like, every Sunday I wake up, we're winning. We're winning. We're winning. Sunday. We're winning every Sunday I wake up. But after watching the first half and we're 10-10, I had that feeling of we're going to win. It's going to be that weird win of a football game.
Right.
And the fact that we could capitalize off of not only Amari Cooper dropping a football we've never seen him drop, but David Njoku dropping a football we've never, haven't seen him drop since his rookie year, and then coming back and making up for it with the touchdown at the end of regulation.
But that wasn't right for them to boo Amari like that, man. They was booing him.
I think any boos that you hear aren't for players, they're for Stefanski. Because there were a lot of questionable calls that Stefanski made in certain situations today that Browns fans haven't had. It's been like over a month since the Browns have had a home game.
Not as bad
as while we're talking, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You can finish that thought in a second. While we're talking about home games, fuck you to the asshole that broke into First Energy Stadium and did what you did to that field.
Yeah, man.
You're the reason why Browns fans get the rap that they get. That's not a reflect.
Let's not call that guy a fan, though.
But that's what I'm saying. But it's a reflection because some dumbass does that. It's a reflection on all fans that root for the Browns.
For sure.
That asshole does not represent the hardcore, die-hard fans that root for this franchise every single Sunday. I just said it not too long ago. Every Sunday I wake up, no matter what the record is, we're winning that football game when I wake up on that Sunday, no matter what happens. So, fuck that asshole. You do not represent what it means to be a Cleveland Browns fan.
Fuck no.
It just adds to the lore of why we don't need a stadium on the lake anymore, but why we need a stadium on the lake. Like, if Deshaun comes back and runs the fucking table, that's the whatever.
Next week, baby.
Any takeaways you have from this overtime win? I can't believe we actually decided to punch it in with a touchdown and not let Cade York win it.
I was sitting there like, please do not let this come down to a Cade York fucking kick. We can't afford that. And, I expected, I had hopes for Jacoby to have a better game than he did. He played a good game, but I thought he was just going to go the fuck off. I was texting you guys earlier today. I'm like, man, Jacoby's going to have a day. Which he played great like he's played through 10, 11 weeks of football. But
before we get James on here and we interrupt him rudely, I feel like we have a reputation of interrupting people on this podcast. I texted the group chat and I said, Jim Donovan said that Jacoby Brissett has played better than the 3-7 record is shown.
It doesn't reflect how he's played
But
this
the problem is they showed the stat today, he can't complete those balls over 35, 50 yards.
Taking way too many shots downfield.
But wait till next week.
When we have a guy that can.
Yeah.
No, the stat of the day for me was they put up when Nick Chubb has 20 or more rushes, we're 3-0. And when he has 19 or less, we're 0-7. And they showed the stat when he had 19 carries and they ran the ball in the next play and we fucking won the fucking game, man.
I mean, Kevin.
The writing's on the wall right there. You run the ball, you win the game.
I'm so glad I'm single and I watch these games by myself most of the time because before every game when they show the head coaches, as soon as they show Kevin Stefanski, I yell at my television, "Run the ball, Kevin!
Yeah.
Just call a good game, Kevin!" Yeah. That's all we need to happen.
Yeah, man.
That's all we need to happen. And look what happens. Nick Chubb won you the game today.
And shout out to the fucking defense. Dude.
Shout out to the defense. Myles Garrett, you got the 2 sacks you wanted to get on Tom Brady today.
Emerson, number 23.
Wow.
What a fucking game. He had a day. All right, let's call James, man. He's probably over there they're not calling.
But I will say, after all these weeks of Browns fans calling out Joe Woods, calling out the defense, finally, against the greatest of all time, who had Mike Evans and Chris Godwin today, we were able to shut them down and create opportunities to win the football game like we did.
Yeah.
And that's what we needed. All we needed was to win this game to get Deshaun and let's win the rest of these games. Well, yeah, get James on the horn.
Let's get James on the horn.
Uh-oh, copyright strike coming up. Subscribe to the YouTube. Cleveland's biggest diehards.
I'm not talking about puppies, I'm talking about dogs. Big barking out here. Welcome to Cleveland.
Running around all day, getting loud all day, going down all day, dog pound all day, clean Browns all day.
Can you hear that?
Can you hear us, James?
Yes, sir.
Yo.
You are on Cleveland's biggest diehards. We just got done airing out what we thought was a tremendous win, and we also aired out what we thought went wrong last weekend against the Bills. We are going to try to not interrupt you because we have a hard time doing that on this podcast. But on the 15th episode,
15,
James with all the takes, you have the floor for as long as you like it.
So
or at least till we cut you off.
Way to go. Way to go. The floor's yours now.
No, go ahead.
Put them calves on.
Why is 6 afraid of 7?
'Cause 7 wins games.
Hey, speaking of 6.
I was going to say because 7 took his job, but all right.
There's that too, and then I don't know what number Sam Darnold's number is, but he took 6.
Did the Panthers win today?
I think they did.
Uh-oh. Dun, 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 dun. All right, James, my bad. Go ahead. Floor is yours.
Yeah, no, I thought today was a great team win, It was great to see Anthony Schwartz catch a ball. It was amazing to see Jacoby Brissett just kind of willed that team to win. The defense did everything right. MJ Emerson is a fucking dog.
Shout out Emerson, man.
Dog!
I mean, he's making us look like we way overpaid for Ward, which is a conversation for another day. And I honestly, we played that game without Greg Newsome. Again, that's 2 weeks in a row, no Newsome. So we probably eliminate some of those Godwin catches if, Newsome's out there. But
you're not wrong on that with the Newsome. You're not wrong that we probably eliminate some of those Chris Godwin third down conversions / second and long conversions. But defense still did their job.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's Tom Brady and Godwin.
Yeah, exactly. But continue.
I knew we were going to win that game when Wirfs went down. I knew Myles Garrett was getting that sack. There was not a doubt in my mind. It was our game.
The floor is yours, man. I said we weren't going to stop you until we cut you off, and as I continue to cut you off, keep talking, bro. It's you.
Yeah, I mean, it was our game to win, or rather, our game to lose. We had nothing to lose. I'm really happy. Exactly. Coach didn't go for it when we scored the touchdown, and Joku had the best catch I've ever seen. And it's one of those games where we're not supposed to win because everyone has already written us off. And we're gonna go to the Super Bowl this year, and I can't fucking wait.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that the team understood what was on the line this week? Because we were shown in the graphic that we're still in the hunt.
No, they understood
and they knew that this was their guy Jacoby's last week, and they had to show out. And even though it looked like the same old Browns finally pulled out a victory.
The Cleveland Browns are a top 10 football team. Granted, the record doesn't show it, but the play does. Top 10 offense, middle of the pack defense. The run stop's getting a lot better now that Owusu's back, which I think everyone forgot that was a main reason why it stunk. And this team is going to have a much better cushion now because we'll eliminate those drives where we rely on Cade York for a field goal or get stopped in a red zone. With Deshaun Watson, we'll be able to start running the score up. We'll be able to start doing so much more. And I'm just thankful that I was able to go 11 weeks and not talk shit about a quarterback because
wait a second.
I don't know about that, James.
Whoa. You have some tweets. Jeff said some things. We've all said some things about Jacoby on this podcast. But I will say that what we're trying to say is that thank you, Jacoby Brissett, for providing 12 weeks of entertaining football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, James, can you turn off the QVC in the background? Or?
QVC.
Let me just leave the room.
Before we get into what we think is going to happen next week, I love the foghorn on third down. That is awesome.
The foghorn?
We start playing a foghorn on third down.
Oh, yeah.
It is awesome.
I thought you were saying a play.
No, I'm saying
I like that.
Happened.
They used to do the AC/DC.
Yeah, didn't like that. The Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, didn't like that. The foghorn is crazy. James, what do you think?
Oh, dude. I mean, I'm sorry if I sound wiped. That game took me out. So here's.
it did take a lot out of you. I don't know was anybody else holding on to this either?
No, it took a lot out of me. I couldn't believe we won. I switched up from my normal. We're gonna stop giving promotions on this podcast. I switched up from my normal King of Beers to a local brewing company that has Joe Thomas on the cover of the beer. I think that was the difference, and I'm gonna have to go buy 6 more weeks worth of the Joe Thomas beer.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
I really think the tide in this game changed. I mean, I was exhausted. It started out in the first half, sitting there in my recliner, watching it, and then halftime rolls around. Brandon says, "Hey, let's go get our hair cut." And I'm like, "I'm not fucking leaving." So I go and get my hair. I get my hair cut in the middle of the game, miss almost the entirety of the third quarter, and then we come back and win. So I got a rally haircut. There was a rally skunk in the stadium. I mean, we just had to do it. There was a skunk in the lower level.
No, so the skunk replaced the possum?
Yep.
So we have a rally skunk now instead of a rally possum. Let's ride on that. Let's do it. Let's ride the rally skunk.
We got some skunk down here.
Everyone on Twitter keeps saying that the corner on Amari Cooper on that last play tripped over a tire.
I'm dead. Hey,
He tripped over something. I don't know.
we disavowed that asshole. Would you like to say fuck that scumbag while you have the opportunity to be on air?
That was the biggest fucking Northeast Ohio scumbag move you can pull, and it's even more so Northeast Ohio that the Cleveland police can't figure out who the fuck did it.
Yeah, man. I mean,
this is also the same police department that didn't catch Ariel Castro for like 13 years, so are we really surprised?
but you can't tell me they don't got cameras in that fucking stadium.
Of course.
Of course
No,
they do.
probably not. Baker probably didn't pay for a Ring doorbell and they never fucking put one in.
Hey, wouldn't there be some shit like he gets kicked off every NFL team, but he still does the Progressive commercials?
Oh,
I haven't seen him in one this year.
Hey, shout out to everybody that told me he was a top
Starting.
5
Oh my
quarterback.
God, no.
I remember when Katz was in my fucking DMs telling me to kill myself about that shit.
Damn.
Well, hey, guess what? Who, whatever.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
This ain't the
Hilarious.
Baker haters.
Well, no, the Panthers won today, but guess who played quarterback?
Sam Darnold.
But anyways, the Browns win today. James, are we happy? Are we the season's still alive? Actually, James actually told me on Thanksgiving when he showed up to the house for our get together. He goes, "If we lose on Sunday, I'm going to come on the podcast and say, "Joe, shut up. The season's over." But if we win,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
call him.
Go ahead, James.
Yeah, no, we're not losing a game for the rest of the season. It is going to be a fucking like Cavaliers-esque run where we're down 3-1 right now and just fucking keep riding and grinding. We've got a really easy rest of the schedule. The hardest game we have coming up really is the Commanders.
I was just going to say our toughest game is Taylor Heineke.
What
Yeah.
happened? I thought you had a firm grasp on reality.
Yeah, well, where did
Where'd
that go?
Who, me?
You!
Did you just buy a ticket to Believe Land?
Oh man, I said, like, I tweeted it out a week ago that the Cleveland Browns are finishing 10-7.
Hey, and in the landscape of the NFL this year, that's a
We could
make
win.
the
We could win
make
the
the playoffs.
AFC North with that.
that's what I'm saying. I think we could win with less. I think we could still lose a game or two.
Nah, not in the NFC. Yes, not in the AFC. There's too many teams that are like above 500 right now that are still too good that like the cannibalization can't happen, and we've lost like all the tiebreaker games.
Yeah, we've lost all the tiebreaker games, but that means that if we win out and everybody still loses in the division, we literally have an opportunity to win the division and host a playoff game. That is still a high not
Probably.
high, but it's an opportunity. Like, there's still a chance that the Cleveland Browns win the AFC North and host a playoff game.
The Ravens lost today, which is insane.
Did the
Ravens
Bengals
lost.
lose?
The Bengals. No, the Bengals won.
That hurts.
So-
That not really hurts us because if we beat the Bengals and they go,
We gotta win
Win
out
out.
between the Ravens and the Steelers.
if we win out, Jeff, we are 10-7.
Yeah,
Like-
next week, I think all the fans will come back to earth once we get up to 7-7, and everyone's like, "Oh fuck! Like this is a long NFL season."
yeah,
favorable
this is
schedule.
The time, this is the time of the year that you got to get hot.
Yeah,
Just like in baseball,
I wish,
just like in basketball.
I know.
I wish
He
we
learned
could
a
have
thing or two.
won. I wish we could have won the early games against the Chargers and the Jets and the Falcons because it would help. But I think Deshaun Watson is coming out. Hopefully next week we'll have his center up to speed. We won't have Fro Holt back there anymore.
Right.
We'll have the guy from Houston that we picked up. Hopefully he gets up to speed enough. And I think this Browns defense, honestly, has benefited the past 2 weeks with Deshaun Watson as a scout team quarterback, that they're going to be benefiting even more having Jacoby Brissett back there being scout team QB.
That's a great
because I mean,
Go ahead, Jeff. Say
it.
Say it with me. Hang on, James. 1, 2, 3. That's a great take. All right, here we go. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. That's a great take.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, it's going to stink kind of not having to be a scout team QB, but because of how well the defense has played the past 2 games, I mean, which is, I also want to say a big fuck you to all the Myles Garrett haters out there who are like, he's only had 1 tackle today. Defensive ends aren't supposed to be stat padding tackle. Your leading tackler is honestly supposed to be a linebacker or a cornerback.
They said he only had 1 tackle today?
That was in like in the third quarter.
Oh, I was gonna say I thought he had like 2.5 sacks.
Yeah.
But the thing is, people want him to make tackles on passing and running plays. That's not a defensive end's job.
Right.
The defensive end's job is to rush the passer.
Right.
The people who want him out there making tackles don't know anything about ball.
Okay, and since we're on talking about people that don't know anything about ball, I have a gripe with Tony Rizzo, because Tony Rizzo last week was yelling about, why do you have your head in a fucking play sheet?
No, I agree with him.
No, fuck that shit. Why did you hire Stefanski in the first place? Because you knew that he can work an offense down the field. Now, I know there were some questionable calls today. Okay. There were some very, 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 very questionable calls today in the red zone. Let me get my point up before you say what you're going to say, and then I'll let you say what you want. It's like having Sean McVay back there. It's like having some you hired this guy to call the plays, like Cliff Kingsbury, unfortunately, like Kevin O'Connell. These are the guys that I'm thinking of. You hired this guy to call the plays and to orchestrate an offense. Now, what I will say about the Kevin Stefanski thing is what I've been screaming about all season. He's the greatest first script coach you could ever want in NFL history. You are guaranteed to score if you get the ball first. Almost, if you're a Kevin Stefanski offense. Other than that, he has no sense of adjustments. But I will say this. He made Baker Mayfield look like a top 15 QBR player. He's made Jacoby Brissett look like a top 10 QBR player. The numbers say what the numbers are, folks. Imagine if he has someone like Deshaun Watson, where those plays that Jacoby can't make because the line breaks down too quickly. I understand that it's going to be hard for anybody back there to adjust when the line breaks down too quickly. But when Deshaun has that timer in his head to where he's used to that, we'll talk about the Stefanski thing after the season's over. If we still see the breakdowns in the communication and we still see the play calls be what they are after the first 14 plays, then yeah, we need to have a conversation about who's the head coach. But the reason why Deshaun Watson is here is because of Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski. He believes in what Stefanski is trying to do with the offense. Let's just hope that Stefanski delivers on that promise that he made Deshaun to be like, hey, this is a superstar caliber offense, because everybody sees it. It's just, I mean, that 4-7 record doesn't help what we are.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I just hope that we don't get blinded by this win today. And let's not forget, this is a head coach that called 2 quarterback sneaks in a row last week. That's what Tony Rizzo was turning up about.
Keep going.
Dude.
Get it off.
Kevin Stefanski, I don't know if you are the future for this team. I think that you've gotten us to a competitive place in this league. But I don't think that he's winning us Super Bowls. I don't know, man. Now, hold on. Now.
No, I'm killing you.
No, hold on.
Wait. Jeff's trying to get a point across.
We also haven't seen Kevin Stefanski coach Deshaun Watson yet.
Right.
How he this is his last straw for me. How he handles a superstar quarterback is what
Here's what I'm going to jump in and say. If he still does the same thing that he's doing with Jacoby, like let's talk about this first possession after halftime. We get the ball back after we hold the Buccaneers to a 3-and-out. It's 1st and 10 on the Browns 25, 20, whatever we want to call it. I can't think about it all. Yeah. We don't run the football, and we get sacked for 8 yards to make it 2nd and 18. That was my gripe with the Ravens that neither of y'all watched. That was the same thing he did in the Ravens game where it's like, dog, just line up in the I formation, run the fucking football. Losing 2 yards is better than losing 8. Yeah. Now, if he does that with Deshaun, where he makes it obvious that we're not running the football, then we seriously need to have a conversation about whether or not Kevin Stefanski is the right guy to be the head coach. That I agree with Tony Rizzo. But I don't agree with Tony Rizzo about going off about keeping his head in the play sheet. What the fuck did we hire him for then, Tony? That's what we hired him to do. I know he's the head coach, but this is how the NFL is ran now. It's not ran how it used to be run. He's doing his job. What do you want him to do? Try to fucking game? He's not a game manager. He's a play caller.
I feel like what Tony was saying with that was that he was hoping that he would make a gut decision, a football decision.
He's not going to do that. I'm sorry, Cleveland Browns fans, and it hurts my heart to say this because I really do like Kevin Stefanski. I really do think Kevin Stefanski has his heart in the right place. But I agree. Stefanski never makes gut decisions. He does whatever the math tells him to do. And there's nothing we can do about it. And he does troll Cleveland Browns fans at certain times in the game, and they can say whatever they want about that not being the case, where he's like, fuck it, I'll run the ball here, when he doesn't need to run the ball. It's like, it's like, fine, I ran the football. It didn't work. Now let me do what I need to do. No, Kevin. Just fucking game plan like everybody knows, like everybody plays Madden. Play Madden for a week. Understand what it's like to run the football on first down and when not to run the football on first down. When everybody knows you're going to run the football on first down, don't fucking do it when you're fucking in the fucking shotgun. All right? All you have to do is understand where you're at and what you can do. And he just trolls us to no end with it. But I still believe he can get it done. Yeah. For whatever reason, I don't know why he has that magic over me that I think he's still the guy to get it done.
Yeah, he's not all the way out for me. He's just really on thin ice. That's the only way I can put it.
I don't understand how we as a fan base have suffered 20 years of misery, and then all of a sudden we experience some form of competence. And we demand greatness. He is working with, he's baking bread from scratch. And by that, I mean, he has to go out and grow the grain. He has to process it and whittle it down to the flour. I understand where you guys are coming from, but it's the fact that he knows what he's doing. And there's a reason why he's in the NFL calling plays, and we're all assholes talking into a microphone. There's a reason. There's a big reason why we yell at Kevin Stefanski for I didn't like that he threw a screen on 3rd and long, but more often than not, the defense is going to be playing back, looking for the overhead pass. So you have a better opportunity of getting lucky and getting more yards on that screen pass. It just it's the little things like that. And where I'm coming from, how I'm seeing it, Joe Woods, he definitely needs to go. But Kevin Stefanski, I loved what he did in overtime. He was like, fuck it, I'm going to run the offense that I've been running. He was like, he knows when to give it to Nick Chubb and when not to give it to Nick Chubb. And I think one thing that we're looking at that we aren't talking about that we need to is A, our starting center isn't there. And B, this isn't the same playbook we're going to have next week.
No,
there is a whole chapter that we are not seeing. There's going to be definite RPO installments. This is the reason why we have Deshaun Watson and we have an extended Kareem Hunt is Deshaun Watson's going to be Chubb's insurance policy now. We have a guy that's able to take some carries off of Chubb. Because from what I've seen from Kareem lately is he's either checked out or he is starting to hit his mileage limit as an NFL running back. And I kind of think it's the latter. Because what I've seen from Jerome Ford so far, being a kick returner, he's young, he's got it, he's it. I love it. You could throw anyone back there with Stump Mitchell, and he will make them a competent running back. The Chunt era was great when we had Baker Mayfield, who only knew how to roll out of the pocket and hope that someone would get open on a slant. That's the only way that motherfucker knew how to complete a pass.
Yep.
Okay, that's when we needed Chunt. Yeah, that's when we needed Chunt. That was the whole point of Chunt, was to give Baker Mayfield insurance policies. Now we have a quarterback who is going to be able to stand up in the pocket like we've been doing all season with Jacoby Brissett, even though I do love it when he runs and can get a first down. We just have a game-changing quarterback now. And it's going to be amazing that he's going to get the rust off against his old team in Houston, who is having like an identity crisis era and honestly playing for a draft pick. And I mean, they're going to be pissed that they're playing us, because they don't want to win this game, but they don't want to lose it either, because like if they don't want us to win the game.
Right.
Like
I think
it's a lose-lose for them.
I think there were plays today that Stefanski ran on purpose that broke down in coverage to show fans like what's coming. Like watch what happens. Watch what happens when the line moves everybody to the right or to the left, and there's 30 yards worth of space. Yeah, Jacoby got the first down, but Deshaun's getting all 30 of those 35 yards. So like watch what we got. And I love that today. I also loved what he did with Perrion Winfrey today, because there's a lot of disciplinary things that are going on with Perrion Winfrey off the field, on the field, that have been happening this season. But he threw them in there in a package where Perrion had no idea where to line up. And that's a credit to Kevin Stefanski in the argument that I have against myself, where it's like he threw that rookie out there to say, listen, either take that shit seriously or get the fuck up off the field. Because when you're out there and don't know where to line up, those linebackers that are behind you that understand what's about to happen and they have to like grab you and put you where you need to go, that's not going to fly in the NFL. It's called the NFL for a reason. It stands for not for long. And I think Perrion understands that now, because he was able to like plug those holes, and we got some stops with Perrion out there. Shout out Jordan Elliott. Shout out Alex Wright. Alex Wright, the rookie from UAB at defensive end, had several key plays today.
Oh, yeah. Emerson.
Yeah, Emerson played well today.
Hell of a game, man. He was on their ace receiver.
Having Winfrey out there was such a big help, because everyone all offseason said Andrew Berry underplayed and underestimated the importance of the defensive tackle position, which has been true all season.
Yep.
But we also have had a guy who can't stop going out. Like he parties a lot. He's part of the club group. And I think he's finally starting to realize that he can't keep going to the clubs, because if he keeps doing it, he won't get a paycheck anymore. Yeah. So he's starting to figure it out, because that's why we drafted Winfrey, to be a run stop.
Yeah, just turn up at the crib, man.
Yeah.
Or just wait. How about you go play Dungeons and Dragons with Miles? Like, calm down.
Fam,
but you know Miles is still turning up.
What did y'all think of the Jurassic Park suit?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was great.
That was fire. Did you see the look he gave the Cleveland Browns social media team? He was like, yeah, I'm about to go out there.
Yeah, and
Miles Garrett is who we thought he was.
He's him. He's him.
He knows when to break the game. I mean, he tries all game, but that's the thing. He will wear a tackle down to where they just can't do it anymore.
Yep. He don't give up.
Same thing the Michigan D-line did to the Ohio State O-line yesterday.
Oh, we're going to bring this up?
Of course we're going to bring this up.
Of course we are, because they're the most overrated team I ever fucking seen.
When you attack a weak O-line with superior defensive ends for 4 quarters, sure, they're going to hold up for maybe the first 2, but there's 60 minutes that are played in a football game. Ohio State learned that real fucking quick. And so did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers learned you have to block Myles Garrett, and you might not be able
Clowney.
to. Yeah, and Alex Wright.
Yeah.
And Jordan Elliott brought a bunch of pressure. And Jeremiah Wusu-Koromoa is healthy. Like
he was
this is
jumping over
everything is happening at the right time, Jeb. But what I'm saying is, if you don't have the offensive line and the offensive line depth built to block for 4 quarters, you're going to get exposed by the middle of the third quarter. And the Buccaneers were exposed. That's why Brady couldn't do what he needed to do.
You're only as strong as your weakest link, man.
Gentlemen, if I may, going back to what Joe brought up about the Ohio State, can we please, as Cleveland sports fans, stop bringing a fucking team from Columbus and be like, it was a great Cleveland sports weekend? Like, no, the fuck it wasn't.
No, man,
Why
it's
the
Ohio.
Fuck do we always include? No.
It's Ohio,
Those
but fuck Cincinnati.
Those fuckers are closer to Cincinnati than they are Cleveland. They are not a Cleveland sports team.
Man,
I don't give
it's
a
Ohio
fuck.
State. What do you mean?
I mean,
Motherfuckers. So is Akron. Why aren't we fucking Akron? You know what I'm saying?
Kent State won their game against Buffalo.
Yeah, no. Shout out all the Ohio football teams. There you go.
Yeah, no, fuck that. They are not a part of a Cleveland sports week.
While I'm talking about Kent State, I'm sorry. The basketball team almost beat the number 2 team in the nation. They lost by 5.
Wow.
It was 49-44 Friday night against Houston.
Sorry, I just needed to get that off my chest. I'm just not a fan of including Ohio State into a Cleveland sports weekend when it, frankly, has nothing to do with what goes on up
Well,
here.
I'm not.
It really just sounds like a couple of pissed off Notre Dame fans.
Well, I'm not pissed off. Listen, hold on. Fine.
All right, maybe they're not pissed. Maybe just hating
fine.
a little bit.
I haven't made Jeff and James understand my fanhood when it comes to Notre Dame football, and I guess I haven't really made it understood on this podcast yet. Not only am I Cleveland's biggest diehard, I've been a Notre Dame football fan. I've had no choice my whole life. I fell in love with the team when I was 6 years old. I love the colors. I love the helmets. I love the history. I love the tradition. I love watching Rudy. It's got the best soundtrack that ever happened.
Rudy is a
in,
great movie.
Like sports movie history.
He's a closet Ohio State fan.
No way. The only reason I watch Ohio State is because I'm trying to watch for the holes that I can say why Michigan exploited them when they won. Because I
But
knew
he watches every game.
Yeah, because I want to watch them lose. Because of you. Because of Jake, because of all my friends my entire life. They clowned me for being a Notre Dame fan because Ohio State was going to bowl games and winning, and I had Charlie Weiss as my head coach, or I had Tommy Reese as my quarterback, or Brian Kelly decided that he was not going to coach.
You got Tommy Reese as your coordinator.
Yeah, I know, right? But he's actually not done a bad job. But I'm one of Notre Dame's biggest diehards as well, okay? I could start a whole new podcast about me talking about Notre Dame football. So while we're here, I will say this. Marcus Freeman has done a fantastic job of not only recruiting and bringing in damn near a number 1 recruiting class for not only 2023 but 2024 as well. But he's also done a great job of motivating the guys, of rallying around what it means to be Notre Dame football players. You could tell in that Boston College senior home game when it was 44-0 and the snow was coming down that they understood what it meant to play Notre Dame football. And I haven't seen a Notre Dame team look like that since Brady Quinn, Jeff Samardzija, and guys like that. Justin Tuck was on those teams. Darius Walker look like that. So I think Marcus Freeman is embodying what Brian Kelly never did, and that was being Notre Dame. And that means you're not just a football program. You are South Bend, Indiana. You are the Golden Dome. You are the student body. You are everything what it means to be Notre Dame. That's what it is. And I think in 2 years, when Marcus Freeman gets his guys in there and Brian Kelly's recruits go out, because let's face it, when it comes to hiring a college football head coach, Ohio State, you're going to learn this offseason, because I don't think Ryan Day is coming back. I don't think Ryan Day is going to be the head coach. Yeah. You're going to learn this. You have to get guys out that have been recruited for 4 years. So in 2 years, when Marcus Freeman gets those number 1, number 2, number 3 recruiting classes in there, you're going to see what Notre Dame can do, not only defensively, because Marcus Freeman is killing it defensively. Caleb Williams is a monster. That guy that plays quarterback for USC, I don't know if you watched that game last night. He should win the Heisman. Oh. He's a beast. That's like trying to they could have tackled him all night long, but Kirk Herbstreit kept saying it because he's been with Al Michaels all Thursday nights. Like, that's Patrick Mahomes. They did everything that they could.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's not going to be in a New Year's Six game, but they're going to be in those tiers of games where, like, it'll be a learning experience.
Yeah.
Watch out next September when the Buckeyes have to go to South Bend, because there's going to be a lot of belief. There's going to be a lot of Marcus Freeman's guys. And if Ryan Day's still the head coach, I don't think that team is motivated enough to walk into South Bend on a September night and win. Look what Michigan did to them. When you're stronger than what they are, Ryan Day can't recruit strength. Michigan can. Notre Dame almost beat. If they don't blitz those safeties in the red zone at that time, they probably hold Ohio State to 3 and probably win that game.
I think Ohio State's defense traded the Browns' defense this week.
And I love to see it.
And they were just giving up big plays.
Bigger Cleveland Browns fan than I am anything else.
Yeah. But they were just giving up too many big plays in the secondary, man. That's all it was. It was a close game in the beginning.
They gave up defensively as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I truly don't give a fuck.
James is still here.
College sports. Yeah, I just wanted to get college sports in the mix because that's my thing.
Good.
Yeah, no, I think you guys are right. But, yeah, no, Ohio State washed. They're going to have a long rebuilding process. And I don't know, man. I mean, Luke Fickell's going to Wisconsin. They're going to have a tough time now. They got a lot of good coaches in the Big Ten.
That's crazy that Luke Fickell has – it's not official yet, but Fickell's going to Wisconsin. That's what the rumors are. Do you think that changes a lot in the Big Ten, especially with USC and UCLA coming in 2025?
Oh, dude, Ohio State, I mean, they're always going to be good. But
just like Wisconsin's always going to be good, man. I mean,
no, but Ohio State needs to get rid of Ryan Day because he is the problem. It's like being a McKinley coach. It's like being a McKinley coach and losing to Massillon every year. Like, you're hired
Shout out
every
Akron
year to
Hoban.
beat Michigan. Your only job is to beat Michigan. That is your only job.
The whole season we was undefeated, and it's trash now. Just
Akron Hoban beat Massillon.
Exactly. Your only job is to beat Michigan. So all you have to do is beat Michigan, and you have job security. Ryan Day can't do that. Ryan Day is on the hot seat. They'd be smart to just give the keys back to Urban Meyer and say, fix it. Because if Urban Meyer coaches that game, Ohio State wins.
Yeah, man.
Probably. Or he at least has those guys motivated enough to not get smacked in the mouth like that.
Yeah, I don't think Ryan Day can motivate me to make a sandwich, let alone win a football game.
Well, Pops has a famous quote about Ryan Day. He looks like he takes poops in public bathrooms with the stall door open.
No, man. Yeah, I hate his face.
I coach the Chicago Bears quarterbacks.
Man, but
Hey,
back.
Shout out Garrett Wilson. He's going crazy for the Jets.
Jets won today without Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Zach Wilson is fucking trash.
No argument here with that. So, James, realistically,
Yeah.
how do we feel about the rest of the season?
We're going 10-7. I ideally don't see us losing a game. This team has been through enough pain and suffering, and I said it earlier today, this is the tax that we pay as Browns fans for having Deshaun Watson, was having to go through a miserable 12 weeks of football.
Yeah.
And we got the win today, but we had to earn it. And I really think that 4 is going to come out, light the field up. He is going to be able to give the defense what it needs in order to not have, like, the offense is going to be so good that the defense will get better. And by the defense getting better, the offense doesn't have to be perfect anymore.
Right.
Like, they're going to finally balance each other out. And that's what this season has been missing. And that's what we finally saw today was the start of the balancing of the scales. Because each week passed with Deshaun getting closer to being reinstated, the scale got lighter and lighter on our side in order to it to finally balance out.
You said it perfect. It's all about balance, man.
Yeah, I mean, look at what's going on in Los Angeles right now. They're not balanced. They don't know what the fuck to do. There's a lot of teams in the NFL right now that are either heavy on one side or they just can't put it together. And there's still a lot of good football left to have been played because the Panthers could sneak their way in, the Jaguars could sneak their way in, the New York Jets could end up fumbling the bag and finding their way out. The Giants could find their way. This is
would be a Jets
football.
thing to do.
People forget that this is football, that anything happens within 60 minutes of play, and that anything and everything will happen. It is just a grueling game. And personally, I love it. I think the season has gone according to plan. I think that this was the first week that we finally won one of those games.
Yeah.
And that is huge.
Yep.
Oh, for sure. I don't know if it was according to plan, but we definitely squeaked by, I think.
There were people at the beginning of the year saying Jacoby Brissett wouldn't win a game.
Yeah, well, those people.
You know what I mean? Like, this season, Jacoby Brissett did more than he needed to.
It's probably the same people that are asking us to trade Myles Garrett.
Shout out to the people that told me.
Excuse me, Myles fucking Garrett.
Shout out to everybody that told me Jacoby Brissett
I
was a
think
backup
the
quarterback.
saddest part about the saddest part about this entire thing is if we never got Deshaun Watson, I still hope we would have went out and got Jacoby Brissett because I would have let him play the rest of the season.
Oh, for sure.
He's done a stellar job. He's been able to put us in almost every single game, but two.
But you know who else picked up Deshaun Watson?
Who?
The Cleveland Concreters.
No way.
Yes, sir.
You got him.
I got him.
You start him next week?
No. Oh, next week? Yeah.
All right.
I've had him stashed away on my bench for a long time.
What is your name of your fantasy league, James?
Which one?
The one that we're in.
Oh, Deshaun's disciples.
Yeah, and you don't have Deshaun. That's hilarious.
Yeah, well, my other two leagues are kind of not safe for work names. I think the better one is. No, I'm not even going to say it.
Yeah, don't say it.
Yeah.
Starting lineup for the Cleveland Cavaliers on this Sunday night: Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Dean Wade, Evan Mobley, and Robin Lopez.
Hey, it's nice to see Lopez with the hair. It, like, gives me Verjao memories. Like, I love the hair, man.
Also, did you guys see people were on Twitter, Bucks fans, saying that JOK should get suspended for trying to jump over Wirfs?
No.
Fuck him.
He's just a fucking animal. You can't stop him.
Right.
Yeah. And so I got a quick question for you guys.
Shoot.
Is Jacoby Brissett the best Cleveland Browns quarterback in recent history?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yes.
In the past 20 years? Since
Yes.
we've been back?
Yes. Yes.
And it's sad.
Even though his record is 4-7 as a starting quarterback, those were the best 11 weeks of football I've watched as a Browns fan in a long, long time. And there was people telling me that number 6 was our franchise. And I've seen better football in 11 weeks from Jacoby than I got for 4 years from Baker Mayfield.
I think the funniest thing is seeing Baker Mayfield getting benched and watching Jacoby Brissett go out there week after week doing the same shit. He's just, everyone I have friends who are Colts fans and Dolphins fans, and they were like, oh, good luck with him. I'm like, yeah. Bet.
Yeah.
And that's all on Kevin Stefanski, though. Like, that just shows you what type of offense that he has. We can't jump ship. The problem is we have to get better at special teams because Cade York missed a field goal that we shouldn't have gone to overtime with. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to address it. We're not going to talk about it. We're just going to address it. It happened.
Yeah.
It looked like what it looked like. Watch the replay, and you get your opinion. And
you guys want to hear the best stat of the game?
Go ahead.
Give it.
Martin Emerson Jr. held Mike Evans to 0 catches and 0 yards.
Fuck yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
He was laughing at him at the end of the game. He stopped him.
Was he really?
He was going ha ha. he was feeling it, man, and I love to see it.
It's great. I mean, let's look at the season. Let's look at the season. What do we got left? Because I really want to get into it.
I know it. I know it. I know it off the bottom of my heart. All right, next week, Houston
At
Texans.
Houston. Dub.
Week after that, at Cincinnati Bengals.
Dub.
Week after that, home, probably Saturday, against the Baltimore Ravens.
Dub.
Week after that, Christmas Eve, Saturday, against the New Orleans Saints.
Dub.
Week after that, on the road, against the Washington Commanders.
New Year's Day. Dub.
Week after that, season finale, on the road, Heinz Field. Well, what is it called now? What do they call that shit now? It's not Heinz Field anymore. They took the ketchup bottles out. Ha ha.
Acrisure or something.
Yeah, Acrisure, Pittsburgh, Steelers. That's the rest of our season, boys.
I got a great feeling, man. I really do.
I mean, if Deshaun is who we think he is, and he's been in shape like we think he is, and he's thank God we're playing the Texans first, because if he's gonna have the willies, he's gonna have the shakes, he's gonna have the nerves.
They're dog shit.
He's a human fucking being, and they are dog shit. But
so
if
we should win this with fucking Case Keenum.
If we get beat bad, not good. But as long as Deshaun can keep it, Browns win 21-3, 21-6, 21-10, I'd be happy. I'm not looking for electricity. Yeah. I'm looking for efficiency. A W. I'm looking for somebody that wants to play quarterback, and it looks like from his social media post that he's ready to go, folks. He's ready to fucking go.
I'm ready.
Yeah, we're all ready.
We're all ready, man.
This was the longest preseason in Cleveland Browns history. Shout out Jacoby Brissett. I told y'all we're gonna be the. I hated maybe a couple times, but shout out Jacoby Brissett, man.
We could very well be 0-11.
Fam, I had to watch Tim Couch, Jeff Garcia, Trent Dilfer, Seneca Wallace, Jason Campbell, Colt McCoy, Brady Quinn. I said Trent Dilfer already. I said Jeff Garcia already. Derek Anderson. I said Seneca Wallace. Cody Kessler. Ken Dorsey.
Manziel.
Johnny Manziel.
Colt McCoy.
Baker Mayfield. I said Colt. But we could go on and on
Del
about.
Home.
Yeah, Del Homey. Jake Del Homey.
We can keep naming them all.
We can go on and on and on. So thank you, Jacoby Brissett, for making this football season enjoyable. Like every Sunday I woke up. No, you know what? Fuck that. Before I get into it, let all of us clap it up, Jacoby Brissett. Clap it up. Jacoby Brissett gave us the most entertaining season of football that we as Browns fans have seen since '99. We haven't seen anything like this. He's kept us in the game. Yeah, so what? We're 4-7. Guess what? Deshaun Watson's coming. But for those last couple of weeks, you woke up every Sunday, and for a split second, or Monday or Thursday, depending on when we were playing, for a split second, you thought that the Cleveland Browns could win that game. And that's because of the quarterback that we had. And we haven't had that forever. So thank you, Jacoby Brissett. I hope you get paid. I hope you do well. And you will be a Cleveland Brown forever on this podcast.
Hell yeah, man.
I'm going to get a jersey. I'm going to hang it up. We're going to hang that motherfucker up. You are the man, bro.
That for rafters?
We should start that. We're going to
start
retiring jerseys for true Clevelanders, man. Jacoby Brissett, it's an honor to have you be the first number retired. We're going to get that. We're going to get that number. We're going to retire it because like I said, I've been a Browns fan my entire life. James has been a Browns fan his entire life. Jeff has been a Browns fan his entire life. Our first 4 or 5 years of existence, we didn't have football in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So our first thoughts of football in Cleveland was Tim Couch and Kelly Holcomb getting beat by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2002, 2003 in the playoffs. Yep. And then after that, we watched the motherfucking snowball get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and roll. And then all of a sudden, we drafted Joe Thomas. Then we drafted Brady Quinn in that motherfucking draft. We thought it was over. We thought the tide was turning. Derek Anderson, for some reason, turned that tide till the Bengals beat us. And then that hopes of the playoffs drifted. But here we go. We show up. We're still fans. The team gets sold from the Lerners to the Haslams. We still have faith. They changed the uniforms. We hate the uniforms that they changed it to. We're like, why the fuck did you do that? But here we are, still fans of the team.
Hey, they look beautiful today.
We watch Rob Chudzinski go 5-11 and be like, wow, this guy that's from Toledo that's rooted for the Browns his entire life could do this. Get fired from Mike Pettin. Mike Pettin comes in, tells Jimmy Haslam, we don't want Johnny Manziel. I can't coach him. Pfft, fuck you. Drafts him anyway. We go through that. We go through John Dorsey doing the right thing, getting Jarvis Landry in there, drafting Myles Garrett. Yeah, he did what he did with the 2018 pick, but I will say it was the right move to make in order to build the team that we have today.
Everything got us to here. Where
Hell yeah, bro. Denzel Ward was a fucking great.
I agree.
Shout out Ohio State. Nick Chubb.
And Nick Chubb.
Kareem Hunt.
But now here we are. And after everything that we've been through, everything I've just listed, even the people that are older than us that have been through the drive, that have been through the fumble, that have been through Red Right 88, that have been through Kosar making mistakes, that have been through Sight making mistakes. Hell, even the old people that I have come up to me and tell me they listen to this podcast and they say watch Frank Ryan win the fucking 64 championship against the Baltimore Colts. Or the Giants, whatever it is, man. They show me the ticket. It's cool as fuck. They tell me, like, listen, I've been there. I've seen it. I love y'all.
Yeah.
We're here now. All that animosity, all this tension, I hate to say it, we're going to have to let it ride depending on what happens because this is what happened when the Niners traded for Garoppolo. The Niners had sort of the same situation when they traded for Garoppolo out of New England. And Garoppolo came in, and he rattled off 5 straight wins. The next season that Garoppolo played a full year of starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, they went to the Super Bowl and were a Garoppolo overthrow away from winning a championship. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Browns fans, now. Set your expectation to that.
Right.
Set your expectation to not making the playoffs. Fuck that shit. We make the playoffs, that's an overachieve.
Right.
Set your expectation to making sure that Deshaun Watson is what we think he is, and he's not rattled about everything that's gone on off the field. Mm-hmm. Let's hope that his brain is on the field.
We got to,
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm sorry, James, we've been through everything we've been through. As I've named, this is what it comes down to. The Haslams have finally understood we have to sell out.
You got to pay
to win a championship. Look what Gilbert did. He gave LeBron the reins, and it worked out for 1 year. Granted, it should have worked out more than that, but injuries, blah 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 blah. That's another time for another day.
Right.
But the Haslams were like, if we're gonna win this, we have the D end, we have the pass rush. Granted, we can fill up some holes here and there, but if we have a quarterback that's competent enough to lead us to where we need to go, like they've been telling us, then let's do it. So here we are now. The last few weeks will tell us what next season is going to look like. And we might even extend this year. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I love it. I was just going to say, I think we should make today ongoing. Thank you, Jacoby Brissett Day. Let's put it in the memory bank. Let's celebrate.
What's the date today?
11/27.
11/27 is number 7 day.
Wow, there you go.
I love it.
Beautiful.
But yeah, I think Joe capped it off perfectly.
Well, I think we should just cut it short. This is the perfect.
It ain't short. We're about our normal time.
This is the perfect Cleveland's Biggest Diehards episodes. Thank you, Jacoby Brissett. We are ready to ride with Deshaun Watson now. Deshaun, lock in. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's fucking time.
It's time, man.
James, anything else? Anything you'd like to say to the fans before next week against the Houston Texans?
Get your guitar picks ready.
Get your guitar picks ready. This has been the 15th episode, believe it or not. Number 15.
That's crazy, man.
15 of Cleveland's Biggest Diehards, the podcast for diehard Cleveland professional sports fans. I'm Joe Stoner. That's Jeff, the producer that makes all this shit possible.
Yes, sir.
And on the horn is our guy with all the takes, James.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the YouTube. Let's go, Brownies.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Welcome to the Beer Break. This is Cleveland's biggest diehards, the podcast for diehard Cleveland professional sports fans. And I can't believe I'm saying this. I don't have a beer for this one.
Oh.
I am at a studio that has not provided me beer for my beer break.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
So, the only thing I can think of to make this
Sounds
beer
like you
break
need some
happen,
beer money.
I don't think I need beer money. I just need to steal one.
I thought somebody was out here stealing drinks. Yeah, if you really stole my drink, I might have to. All right. Well, I guess we're making a beer run.
This has been the Beer Break. Thank you for watching.